If you're watching this, chances are you're familiar with Transparent, the show created by the uber talented director and writer Joy Soloway. Spanning from 2014 to 2019, the show ran for 5 seasons that brought home a grand total of 42 awards, including multiple Emmys and a Golden Globe for Best Television Series, Comedy, or Musical. In case you have never seen the show before, Transparent centers around the life of the Pfefferman family after one of the parents comes out as a trans woman named Mora. During the series, we follow each of the characters as they adapt to their new dynamics, encountering both expected and surprising challenges. Despite witnessing a spike in recent years in LGBTQ+ teen series and movies celebrated by audiences and critics alike, Transparent remains a unique case of study for its bold and provocative writing. Not long ago, it would have been impossible to imagine a show like this being created by a major production company like Amazon Studios. I mean, Joy Soloway didn't shy away from touching on every single controversial topic she could come across: religion, sex, gender, and even the Holocaust. And yet, her beautiful storytelling never lets the show feel inappropriate or raunchy. Maybe the best example for this is the ninth episode of Season 2, Man on the Land. Before going into the episode and explain why I believe it's one of the best of the entire series, I will give you a spoiler warning. I would also like to disclaim that I do not support Jeffrey Tambor's actions in any way. This video focuses solely on the show Transparent and its writing, not on the actors who participate in the series. With that out of the way, let's begin. Man on the Land follows Mora and her two daughters, Sarah and Ali, as they attend a music festival created for and by lesbians. At this point in the story, these characters identify either as lesbian, bi, or pansexual. So at first, it makes perfect sense for all of them to be at the event. During the first couple of scenes, the festival looks like a place where the three of them will be able to celebrate their womanhood and sexuality. Women of all ages, colors, and body shapes dance along to a song by the Indo Girls, while a woman on stage uses sign language to translate the lyrics. Is this queer paradise? Well, not quite. Transparent does a great job of contrasting both the beautiful and ugly parts of the LGBTQ+ community. So after the first couple of scenes, we start to notice the problematic parts of the festival through the eyes of Mora, who finds out trans women are not allowed inside the festival. Naturally, Mora feels out of place and judged by everyone around her. This reaches a climax when a group of male workers arrive to empty a set of portable toilets, and the women immediately begin shouting, "Man on the Land," to warn everyone about their presence. When Mora asks if there's ever been a problem with the employees, she's told, the problem isn't with the employees, it's that they're men. Suddenly, the festival doesn't seem so warm and inclusive anymore. Eventually, Mora ends up hanging with Ali and a group of self-proclaimed extremists, who explained that the festival was created so that women, quote unquote, born with a vagina and uterus, could have a safe space in the world. According to a character named Holly, male genitalia can be triggering for some women who have suffered abuse, while extremist Sandy assures Mora that the privilege she enjoyed while living as a man permanently set her apart from cisgender women. This is where the episode demonstrates another of the strong points of the series, reflecting on complex subjects through natural dialogue. We don't need a full TED Talk to understand the arguments for and against trans exclusionary feminism. Just a couple of characters talking over a bonfire. In about 3 minutes, we as an audience get to know multiple takes on the subject and even feel like our own beliefs are being challenged. Now, I won't say there aren't any other shows capable of presenting elaborate and concise arguments like this in a seemingly effortless way, but I will say that those shows are rare. Meanwhile, Sarah, who has been going through hell since leaving her girlfriend moments after marrying her, is looking for a way to ease her guilt. At first, she's invited to a meditation workshop in which the instructor explains they'll be releasing some deep emotions. However, Sarah chooses to follow a dominatrix to a group practicing Consensual power exchange. Transparent, it's great at showcasing queer female sexuality through a different lens. And this particular episode is a great example of this. It's not uncommon for gay men to talk both in private and public spaces about their sex lives. So we tend to see as normal when shows depict them engaging in all sorts of kinky practices. On the other hand, when women engage in such practices, we often see them as taboo. So when Sarah chooses to engage in violent roleplay, it makes us face our own double standards when it comes to sex in the lesbian community. After all, why should only men be allowed to explore with their sexualities? As if all of this wasn't enough to process already, the episode ends on an emotional note with a heartbreaking scene which might or might not have made me cry. Mora leaves the festival in the middle of the night as Ollie wanders into a flashback of Gittel, a long-lost relative and trans woman who was taken out of a refuge for queer people and arrested by Nazis. By alternating between the two scenes, we understand the persecution of trans women in the past and present have one thing in common. Both of them seek to erase their identities and expel them from safe spaces. So, what have we learned from Man on the Land? From a storytelling point of view, I'd say that the episode teaches us a perfect example of what screenwriter and author Blake Snyder refers to when he says, "Keep it the same, but different." The episode sticks with the main premise of the show, Mora and her family navigating the ups and downs of queer life. In that sense, there's nothing really new about it. What's special is the way this episode chooses to tell that same story in a new way. By being in an unfamiliar place, the stakes suddenly feel higher. New characters help the protagonist reaffirm who they already are in a more dramatic way. And the introduction of unexplored dilemmas make their storylines even more engaging. By the end of the episode, we feel like the show has taken its characters through a life-changing journey, while at the same time keeping their identities intact. As you can see, Transparent really inspires some great conversations and ideas with this episode that I love to keep on discussing. So if you decide to watch it and discover things I missed or disagree with some of my interpretations, please let me know. Either way, I hope you end up watching the entire show and enjoying it as much as I did. Thanks for watching.